The Pool Guy Podcast Show. The Pool Guy Podcast Show. The Pool Guy Podcast Show. Yeah!
Hi, and welcome to the Pool Guy Podcast Show. In this episode, I'm going to go over some ways that you can really help the skimming action of your pool, whether it's kind of helping the skimmer work better, or a product that's going to keep the surface clean for you without you having to go out there every couple of hours with your leaf rake and skim the surface. So I'm going to go over some of these for you here to make your pool surface look really good each week with minimal effort. Pool Service Pro, open a Leslie's wholesale account today and receive wholesale pricing on products you use every day. Leslie's Pool Supply offers convenient locations that are open 7 days a week. Another great benefit of opening a Leslie's wholesale account is Leslie's referral program. Get referred to a customer looking for weekly pool service. Also receive priority service, enhanced rebate programs, a discount on your general liability insurance through SPA, a discount on your pool routing software through Skimmer, and an opportunity to co-brand with Leslie's on your social media, website, truck, and more. Save time and money and grow your pool service route and become a Leslie's Pro. So yes, surface debris is unsightly and it does make the pool look bad, but there are other aspects of the surface debris that you have to be aware of, and this will cause you to use more chemicals, namely more chlorine, because a lot of times the inorganic and the organic surface debris will kind of use up the chlorine and cause the chlorine level to drop in the pool. These leaves and surface debris will also find their way to the bottom of the pool, and this will cause the automatic cleaner to sometimes get clogged up or run poorly, and sometimes this leaf debris can lead to staining of the surface on the bottom of the pool. I think one of the biggest problems with a pool with a lot of surface debris is the fact that it causes a system-wide problem. Let me just unpack this for you here. So if you have a pool that gets a lot of surface debris and you just have the skimmer operating, pulling in that debris, as all that debris goes into the skimmer and kind of impacts the skimmer and causes it to clog up with debris, this will cause the pool flow to slow down and run poorly, especially if you don't have a pool where if the skimmer starts to get impacted by debris, the main drain will take over, or in a lot of pools the main drain is not functioning, or there's a valve that turns it on and off and is left off, or the skimmer doesn't have any way for it to divert the flow from the skimmer to the main drain. And this is very common out there. I have a lot of pools on my route that have this situation where once the skimmer basket gets full of debris, the flow to the pool is restricted, and then the pool is running poorly, which leads to more surface debris because it's not being pulled into the skimmer, because the basket is full already, and because the pump is actually slowing down its velocity because of all the debris in the skimmer. Therefore, the debris just keeps accumulating on the surface, falls down to the bottom. The automatic cleaner is not working properly because of the fact that the pool is not flowing properly. And so this is the classic case of one thing leading to another and becoming more and more disastrous. So it's not uncommon to get to a pool after a week that has heavy debris and see algae in the pool, or cloudy water, or poor water quality, and a pool that's really messy that takes you a much longer time to clear up because the skimmer wasn't working properly because of the heavy debris load. The skimmer is designed to take the debris out of the pool, but with too much debris, it kind of short circuits the whole idea behind it. And since the skimmer is where most of the water gets pulled into the pump and recirculated to the pool, once that gets short circuited in a way by all the surface debris, things become even messier and makes the pool look even worse. So that's why a pool with a lot of surface debris can be a real problem on your pool route, or if you're a homeowner, can be a real problem for you and cause multiple issues with your pool. So I'll start with the most effective, and of course the most effective is going to be the most expensive, and I'll go in this order from what would cost the most down to the low budget way of keeping the surface clean. And of course the most expensive way to do this is to have the customer, or yourself if you're the pool owner, trim the trees around the pool area. This is something that should be done every year, but people neglect this, and I've had pools where they've gone 4 or 5 years without trimming the trees, and this could be a danger in the fact that if you get a major windstorm and the tree is really top heavy with dead leaves and dead branches, that it could potentially fall over in a windstorm. And this happened here in my area this year. Over in Claremont, California, there was a major windstorm, and many trees that weren't trimmed for years just fell over. And this is something that's hazardous to your house. I mean, some of the trees went right into the houses. They went into garages. They went, of course, into the pool. And this is all because of a lack of trimming the trees. and you would be amazed at how much debris is reduced by just trimming the trees around the pool. Of course, if a neighbor has a tree that's overhanging your yard or the yard you service, you can't do much about it. You can legally trim the tree back to the fence line, but this causes all kinds of problems with neighbors. No one likes their property being touched, and they get really touchy about you cutting branches down. If you wanted to do that, you definitely would want to get permission from the neighbor to trim the trees or have them trim the trees for you. But in a lot of cases, trimming the trees is the most effective way of reducing debris around the pool, and it's also, of course, the most expensive way of doing it. But it should be done annually, I think, around every person's pool. I do my trees annually here, and it's an expense that I have to pay, and I understand it's an expense that pays off in the fact that the pool looks a lot cleaner. Next, of course, would be your solar surface cleaners, and there are two that are kind of left on the market. There's maybe a couple others that are hard to get, but the two that you can get readily are the Solar Breeze Aerial and the Beta 2, and these are the two you can find online at their websites or on Amazon. Again, that's the Solar Breeze Aerial and the Beta 2, BETTA 2. Both of these work really well. I would say I would give the edge right now to the Beta 2 as far as more advanced technology. They did a lot to make this a lot better than the previous version. The Aerial is kind of like a repackaged Solar Breeze. I think some of the features that the Solar Breeze had should have been moved over to the Aerial, and they were eliminated, which makes it just like a Solar Breeze Lite basically. But either of these two solar surface cleaners are going to leave the surface looking really clean all week long. There's a couple drawbacks, of course, which is the price point of these, and they're around $500 or so if you buy them online. They're not sold through distribution, so you can't get any kind of wholesale pricing, which is unfortunate because it would be nice to buy 5 or 6 at a wholesale price and put them in customers' pools. You can become a dealer through Pivot, which is the parent company now of Solar Breeze. I'm not sure how many units you have to purchase to become a dealer, but it would be better if you can just purchase them at wholesale whenever you wanted one. That's not the case with either of the solar surface cleaners, so I just let the customer purchase them themselves directly online. That way I don't have to deal with any kind of warranty issues. Plus there's no money saving aspect or markup, so the customer purchasing it, it's just as if you were purchasing it and putting it in the customer's pool. So I'd rather have them purchase it online, have it delivered, and have them put it in the pool, or you could put it in the pool for them. But this will definitely eliminate a lot of the surface debris. If I remember correctly, both units have the basket or debris canister or chamber capacity of 2 skimmer baskets, so you can see how much debris they can pick up on a pool, especially a pool that has heavy debris. One thing to note about both of these cleaners is that based on the water level and how powerful your pool skimmer is or what time you run your pool pump, they could be pulled into the skimmer. One way to solve this is to add more water to the pool to raise the water level up, or 2, put something in front of the skimmer to prevent this from happening. You can tie a empty chlorine floater to the skimmer lid and make sure that the rope has no slack so that it just kind of butts up against the skimmer opening, and the solar skimmer will usually hit that and bounce off and continue onto the pool solar surface skimmer. You can also install a device called the Cmw Skimmer Wizard, and this is a device that fits over the front of the skimmer. It has slits in it, so it'll take the small debris in but won't take the larger leaf debris. But more importantly, since it's covering the skimmer opening, it won't allow the solar skimmer to get stuck in there, and this will allow it to run in any situation, whether you have your pool running all day on a higher speed with your variable speed pump or not. And this kind of leads into something I should touch on before I move on, and this is one way that you can actually increase how your surface looks or how good it looks is by increasing the RPMs of a certain run program or speed of your variable speed pump so that it's running at a higher speed at some point during the day. You can do a high speed maybe at 3100 RPMs for an hour or two, and this will definitely help keep all the surface cleaned. One of the drawbacks with the variable speed pump is that on a lower speed, 2400 or lower, there's not much going on in the surface in a lot of pools. Maybe I would say 2100 and lower, there's not much going on in a lot of pools. And so by increasing the RPMs for a certain runtime every day, let's say middle of the day when it gets kind of windy, here in my area between 2 and 4 p.m. or 5 p.m., it gets kind of breezy out. So if you have a runtime of 3100 RPMs at that time, This will really help get the debris moved around the pool and pulled into the skimmer versus just sitting on the surface and dropping to the bottom. So that's one thing that you could look at to help increase the velocity of the surface skimming. Is just increase the pool RPMs on your variable speed pump, or I should say increase the pump RPMs on your variable speed pump to let it run faster, giving your pool more skimming ability. But the surface solar skimmers like the Ariel and the Beta 2 are a great option for a lot of customers that have a lot of surface debris that can afford something like this, and so they are definitely a viable option to help with the surface. The next one down would be something that's really overlooked on the market, or highly overlooked. I think one of the reasons is that it's not in distribution, and it has never been. So it's a company in South Africa that make this product called the PoolSkim. There's one distributor here in America. She lives in Chicago, and she's the only US distributor of this product that I know of. And her site is PoolSkimUSA.com, PoolSkimUSA.com. And basically you can buy the PoolSkim from her or from her store on Amazon. And there's no other way of getting the PoolSkim, unfortunately. It's about $120 or so. It's a great price point, I think, for this device. Again, it's made in South Africa, and it's been around for a very long time. And I think this is something that's really overlooked and underrated on the market. And I guess I should mention that, like Australia, South Africa has a lot of suburbs and backyard pools, believe it or not. And so they have a lot of manufacturers there. They make really good pool products, just like Australia has manufacturers that make good pool products that come to the US on occasion because they have similar pool setups that we have here. So in a nutshell, the PoolSkim will attach to a 1.5-inch threaded return line. So if you have stub pipes in your pool, they do have adapters on their site for the Polaris cleaners for the stub pipes. It works well with the PoolSkim also. But if you have 1.5-inch threaded return lines, and you have more than one return line, I should emphasize that. If you have two or three return lines, this will be perfect. It attaches to one of the return lines, and it has a hat in there, or what we would call a weir here, a floating weir, and that pulls the debris into a bag that's attached to it. So it basically converts your return line into a secondary skimmer, and this is much more effective in a lot of cases than your primary skimmer in a lot of pools. And I find that a pool set up with the PoolSkim on it is going to have really no surface debris. It's like having two skimmers, but one skimmer that works really well because it's using the return jet to pull the debris in. If you haven't seen one of these in operation, I have a YouTube video of it. Go to their website, you can watch some of their footage also. But I would say that if you have a pool that has heavy surface debris, after putting this in, it's going to have almost no surface debris. It's pretty amazing. And that bag is pretty big. It holds really a good amount of debris. It may not hold the fine particle stuff, but it holds a lot of leaf debris that are on the small particle side of things. But it's not going to pick up, of course, dirt and dust and things like that. But it's highly effective. You may have to restrict one return jet in some cases, depending on how many return jets you have. Or if you have a spa return, you may want to restrict maybe 2 return jets and block off 1. However you want to set it up. But it's pretty easy to set up. It comes with different fittings and elbows you can cut down. Fittings and pipes you can cut down the pipe length. And you can adjust it however you want to have that floating up at the pool level to pull that debris in. Once you install these on your customers' pools with heavy debris, you're going to want more and more of these on your route. I guess the only major drawback of the PoolSkim is that it sits in the pool and is not very attractive. It basically is just this white thing that sits there. It's almost like those old pools. If you ever had a pool that was built in like the 70s or 80s that had the skimmer kind of built into the pool and sitting in the water, it's kind of similar to that. So it's a little bit unsightly for some customers. I mean, if you have a pool that someone built and they paid $140,000 for it and it's beautiful, has these great water effects, and you put a PoolSkim in one corner, you may not, the customer may not be clapping his hands and cheering for you. So that pool, I would suggest the solar surface cleaner. But for the normal pool where people don't really care about having that device in there, I think it works perfect, and it's a great way to reduce the surface debris. And it's really inexpensive, and it's really durable. There's really no mechanical parts or moving parts, so it's just pieces of plastic, and they're going to last a very long time in your pool. I think it's one of the most underrated products on the market today in the pool industry for surface debris. Next would be something like the Skim Doctor 2.0. I find that the effect of this device in a lot of pools, especially if you're running your variable speed pump at a low RPM like my house here where I have it installed at, plus some customers, and you notice that on a low RPM I mentioned earlier that a lot of the surface debris doesn't move around because of the fact that it's running at a lower speed and you're not getting the same velocity of the water getting pulled into the skimmer. This will increase it. It'll actually increase the distance it pulls debris into the pool at. When you put the device in, you're going to see two doors that open up. And there's like a technical scientific name for the effect. I can't remember what it's called offhand, but it's like river rapids. If you have, a large body of water and then you start to shrink it down to the rapids, you notice how fast it goes as it goes into that smaller area. Same effect with the Skim Doctor 2.0 is pulling that water into the skimmer at a faster velocity, and this will definitely keep the pool surface cleaner. Again, it's just a piece of plastic also, so it's very long lasting. You just install it on your existing skimmer basket. I think it fits almost all skimmer baskets, and it's something that's really affordable. I think it's like $40 on Amazon. Again, something that's not in distribution, unfortunately, but you can put this on a pool skimmer basket. It's going to increase the velocity. The next thing would be simply to replace your Weir gate or Weir flap door. And SwimQuip is one of the probably leading manufacturers of the replacement Weir doors. A lot of these get knocked off or broken off with pool use or age. So putting the Weir flap door on there, it not only prevents debris from falling back in the pool when the pump turns off, but it's a great way to increase the velocity of the skimmer. It's designed to actually help pull debris into the skimmer and then close when the pool turns off to prevent debris from falling out. A lot of pools are missing the Weir door or Weir flap doors, and so you want to put that on there, and this will definitely move the needle in a lot of pools just by having that on there. If you have a Hayward skimmer and you have one of those gigantic B37 baskets in there, you're going to know that it's a Hayward skimmer with this basket because the basket's pretty huge. One of the things that's often missing from this is the B38 floating Weir, and this is a hat-like device that's kind of like what's on the PoolSkim. And I find that a lot of times when I take over an account with a Hayward skimmer with the B37 basket in there, the B38 floating Weir is missing. And so putting that in is going to really accelerate the ability of that skimmer to pull debris in. And this is a really easy fix for a Hayward skimmer that's missing, or Hayward skimmer with the B37 basket that's missing that B38 float. You can pick it up just about anywhere. And this is going to make the skimming action, again, really good for the Hayward skimmer. You'll really notice a big difference right away. Another device, if you have in-ground vinyl pools with a ladder, one of the things that you can purchase is something really simple. It's called the leaf bone. You can just Google it, and they sell it on Amazon for like $12. It's actually extremely innovative. It's just a piece of blue plastic that clips onto the ladder, and then the other end clips onto a standard leaf rake. You'll put this in the pool, and most of the in-ground vinyl pools that I've seen have a return jet facing straight from the deep end wall towards the ladder, and this pushes all of the debris right into the leaf rake. It's a great device. You'll see really good reviews on Amazon, and you just clip the leaf rake there, and you're going to find that it probably will reduce the amount of surface debris by 90% in an in-ground vinyl pool. Again, it's called a leaf bone. It's just a blue plastic piece that clips on to the ladder, and these are extremely durable. I've had one on a pool now probably for about 4 years. Hasn't broken yet. It'll probably break next week now that I said that, but I'm just saying they're really durable, and it's like $12, and it's going to move the needle in the in-ground vinyl pool with a standard ladder sticking in the pool. It's just a great invention, and it's a great way to keep those in-ground vinyl pools clear of debris without spending a bundle of money, and it works just as effective as the PoolSkim actually. It's just the fact that the water is being pushed around the pool into this leaf rake that's just floating in the water, being held on by a leaf bone. So you can see there are a lot of different devices out there that are going to really help with your pool surface debris. Having a combination of any of these on your pool, it's going to make your pool surface look really good all week long. So if you have the trees trimmed, you have a solar surface cleaner, you have the Skim Doctor 2.0, and if you have anything else working in the pool at the same time or in conjunction with each other, it's going to really make the pool look really, really good. You're going to have a mirror-like surface, and you're not going to have a lot of debris falling to the bottom, which causes problems because then the automatic cleaner may get clogged up, or it may cause staining on the bottom depending on the type of tree. So it's definitely something to consider if you have a pool on your route, or if you have a pool as a homeowner with a lot of surface debris. Most of that debris is going to end up on the bottom of the pool or it may impact the skimmer basket where there's no flow anymore going to the pump because so much debris gets caught in the skimmer basket that it stops the flow, which kind of exacerbates the problem and makes it even worse because then the pool's not circulating because the skimmer basket is full of debris. So not only do these devices help alleviate the surface debris, but it also frees up the skimmer to work more effectively, giving the pool much better flow. So it's like a twofold kind of thing where the skimmer basket is not impacted by debris, allowing the pool to flow better, which means that the debris is going to flow around the surface a lot better, getting into the skimmer when it needs to, but being trapped in the PoolSkim or a solar surface skimmer. And you can see how all of this will lead to a better looking surface because it eliminates a lot of the things that lead to poor looking water quality, which again is a compacted or impacted, I don't know how to say it better, skimmer basket full of debris, which makes the pump run ineffectively. If you're looking for other podcasts on my channel, you can find them at my website, swimmingpoollearning.com. On the banner, click on that podcast icon. That'll take you to a drop-down list of the other podcasts I've recorded. If you want to enhance your business, you definitely would want to consider my coaching program. You can learn more at poolguycoaching.com. Thanks for listening to this podcast. Have a great week, and God bless. Pool Service Pro. Open a Leslie's wholesale account today and receive wholesale pricing on products you use every day. Leslie's Pool Supply offers convenient locations that are open 7 days a week. Another great benefit of opening a Leslie's wholesale account is Leslie's referral program. Get referred to a customer looking for weekly pool service. Save time and money and grow your pool service route and become a Leslie's Pro.